Hey there, y'all. I'm Juliet Miranda, and you are watching Bourbon Soaked Live, the best place to be on Monday night for cocktails, conversation, and if you're in Louisiana, hurricanes.
Just a couple of them.
Just a couple of them, because one wasn't quite enough.
It's a party with two.
Right? I know. Like now we have a reason to have fun.
It's going to be a shit show.
Oh, y'all. So I'm just putting this out there right now. So this little, fun, spinny, whirly, windy, rainy ball of death is headed for us right now. So admittedly, it's been downgraded to a tropical depression, but it's still headed right for us. And it's supposed to kick in shortly, isn't it?
In an hour.
In an hour. What are you doing over there?
I keep looking at your bottle.
Why?
Because I love that bottle.
Oh, all right. So anyway, this little hurricane thing is headed our way. I don't know what's going to happen to my fucking stream tonight. It could crap out on us. I don't know. But until then, let's just drink, y'all.
Hey, if we were in Chicago, it would be all about the protesters. So guess what? We just get rain.
The fun never stops. So we have a good crowd joining us in the chat right now. I saw that Bob's Adventures on Wheels gets the gold star for being here first. Our little pal Jerry is hanging out with us. Cheers to you, Jerry. Gemma is here as well, as is Ganna. And I think some of my bourbon buddies are wandering on in. I got Patrick Fulmer hanging out.
Crude Tube.
Crude Tube. Cheers to you. Thanks for being here. And yes, it's Booker's, but not quite. And we'll get to that in just a minute. Let me just have a little bit more.
Hey, did you call out Patrick? I didn't know if you said, okay.
Oh my God, this stuff is fucking amazing.
Slow down. Take it easy.
So I'm not drinking Booker's. I'm drinking Little Book, Chapter 4. So this is a series of small batch bourbon releases that are coming from Freddie No, who is an 8th generation Beam family member, grandson of Fred No, and ultimately Booker, who created the Booker's flavor. This is kind of an homage to it, and it is,
Tell them the proof. I mean, that just blew me away.
Okay, so this stuff is badass. It's 122 proof, and who is right? It's a blended bourbon, so let's see if I get this right. There's a 4-year brown rice Kentucky bourbon in here, a 7-year Kentucky straight bourbon, and a 4-year straight rye in here. It's all blended up, and it is fucking amazing. What's crazy about this is although it's got that super high proof, right up front, it's really creamy and kind of smooth and really almost like molasses in a way. It's really rich. And then on the back, you get that oaky flavor and a little bit of cinnamon from the rye. Y'all, it's potent but delightful.
Yeah, got a couple new people here. Just joined us.
Who have we got here? So Ganna is saying stay inside and drink, which is
that's totally our
genius
plan.
Advice. I see Container Man has joined us as well. So cheers to you. Thanks for being here. And if I understand correctly, you're actually driving through Louisiana ahead of the storms.
That's right. Yeah. Him and I were DMing earlier today, and he's going to be in Lafayette, I think, tomorrow, and then heading to Houston and Kansas, if I recall. So
quite the ride there, but I'm glad you're taking time to hang out with us tonight.
And we also have Kurt Robbins joining us.
Oh, good. Kurt's here as well. He does amazing education on hemp and THC and cannabis. Y'all really need to check him out. He's got a very cool Twitter page. Really excellent white papers, really informative stuff if that's what you're into. So I highly recommend checking him out.
Yep. Container Man says Lafayette right now.
Tonight in Lafayette. Well, all right. Well, here's hoping we all stay reasonably dry and comfortable and not too windy.
Well, here's the good thing about the storms. The first storm is, it was supposed to be a Category 1 tornado. Shit.
Category 1
so used
tornado.
to living in the Midwest, I still call it tornadoes. Hurricane, Category 1. And then it was downgraded to a wonderful tropical depression, which is
big fun.
It just means nothing but a lot of hard rain and maybe a small wind.
It's like Chicago kind of wind.
Yeah,
like here,
35
they're like,
miles
oh my
an hour.
God, scary wind in Chicago. This is nothing. But the problem is that coming up on Wednesday, we have a Hurricane Laura, and that's a Category 2 hurricane that's going to head right for us. And that's where the problem's going to happen, because with all this water we're going to get from the tropical depression, there's going to be a shit ton of flooding. I mean, that's just what happens out here in Louisiana. So it's going to be kind of a crazy week.
Yeah, it's going to be a little nuts. And the winds come Wednesday night, they're saying it could be upwards towards 105 miles an hour.
Well, and with all the water that's already going to be sitting around here, and then what gets dumped on us again, I mean, it's pretty much a given we're going to be without power. So.
Oh, and my Facebook buddy Jerry is out here. Says, "Hey, David, the producer, and your lovely wife Juliet.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for coming."
And Jerry, our podcasting friend, says the quarter is higher ground, and you are 100% correct.
Yes, that a lot of people don't actually know that. People think that the quarter is like the lowest point in New Orleans, and it's not even close.
I mean, we live in a building that's almost 200 years old, so I think we got a pretty good chance of hanging around for a while here.
And we're on the second floor. So fuck those people on the first floor.
Well, I hope they have a boat.
I hope they have scuba gear.
Right. So just a reminder, y'all, you are watching Bourbon Soak Live. Like the video, share it on your channels, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my stupid little show here on YouTube, because really, why not?
Yeah, why not? It hurts no one, and it's free.
Yeah, and it's fucking awesome.
Wow. Somebody thinks highly of themselves.
And also, what do you say we remind everybody about what hashtag Bourbon Soaked Live is? Hashtag Bourbon Soak Live is our little getting to know you routine. So as you watch tonight's show, snap a photo. It doesn't have to be of yourself. It definitely should not be of your cock, but it could be of your cocktail.
What happened? Jeez, I got to rip that little book away from you.
Right. So what I'm saying is snap a photo, make a meme, post it to Twitter using the hashtag Bourbon Soak Live, and we'll feature it on the show, because that's what we do.
Yeah, I'm going to do a refresh. Let's see. Whole place.
Nobody gives a shit. There's nothing there right now.
Yes, I know. But, this is what I do. I'm a producer.
I know. My handsome producer, that voice that you hear behind the camera, that's David, the producer.
Oh, hey, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, who's here? It's David, the producer.
It only took you 10 minutes to introduce me.
Well, we got stuck on other subjects.
Holy crap.
Oh, Jerry, I am so sorry. Did I ruin your day?
Oh, by the way, he says, wait, I got to look for it again. He says, well, it is the lowest point in New Orleans, but for a different reason. It's kind of true. This is where debauchery happens.
Well, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And speaking of debauchery, our topic of conversation tonight is, well, that sucked. This is those moments where we go into something, whether it's a performance or a project, an event, and we think, I got a handle on this. It's going to be good. And then you walk away going, well, fuck, that sucked. Kind of like
we've all had those moments. We all go in with the best of intentions of anything anyone, does. And then you come out the back end going, ugh, son of a bitch. I shouldn't have done that.
I should never have done that. So you all think about some things to talk about. And I'm going to talk a little bit to our chat here, because I see Crude Tube. I want to say Crude Tube, and that's totally incorrect. Was in New Orleans a month ago, stayed at Barracks, and found some great absinthe at booze shops. Absolutely. There are definitely some really, really good booze stores that we're discovering out here. We live smack in the middle of the French Quarter, so we're kind of finding our way around to where all the good booze stores are, because prior to this, all we did was go to bars.
Right. And they're all closed.
Are closed right now. It's kind of an unfortunate reality.
And Jerry says, by the way, that what he says, so that sucked. He says, I do that at the end of every podcast.
Well, so what do you say we open with that? Because I know we all have projects that we've gone into and completely fucked up, or had fucked up in one way or another. And I'll kick things off and say that I decided I wanted to start an herb garden. This was a bad idea, but I think I did it. And I said this earlier when we were talking to some friends of ours. I said that I did this to prove that not everything I bury is dead. I really did have high hopes. I wanted to grow
You did.
basil.
You went in with the best of intentions. Yeah. You did your research. You went on Amazon. You bought this super cool little 4-herb kit.
Oh, I had everything. I had food. I had instructions.
Soil.
And I murdered the fuck out of those plants. And I'm just looking, and I threw them away the other day because they were completely unsalvageable. And I just, well, that sucked.
Basil lives matter.
Basil lives do matter. I mean, really.
You really fucked those things up.
I did. I completely fucked the basil. To all of the basil plants of the world, I do heartily apologize for having offended you and murdered your brethren.
Yep. Yeah. It was a problem for you.
I see Creator Spotlight has joined us.
Hey, Mike. Good to see you, brother.
And Ganna agrees and says that she can't keep plants either.
You have a black thumb. You truly do.
I do. I don't know what it is. Like, I tried everything. I talked to the little fuckers, you know, I gave them water. I gave them sunshine, everything they need to live. And they just kicked the bucket.
Juliet, we had a cactus together and you murdered a cactus.
I did not. No, that was not a cactus. That was bamboo.
Oh, that's right.
But maybe by the time I was done with it, it looked like
cactus. Yeah.
I see Jerry says you murdered the plants up. Yeah, I did. Mike Meyer is here as well. Cheers to you. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're talking about things that just sucked.
I'm going to throw one out for you. It's something that I know that you did where you go, oh my God, that sucked.
Damn it.
I'm even giving names too on this one.
Oh, motherfucker,
because
what is it?
There's a great story behind it. And that is the day that you interviewed the comedian Jim Norton.
Oh, not the Jim Norton interview.
Oh, yeah.
You're really going to bring this up? I mean...
Well, I know you didn't have it on the sheet that you wanted to bring it up, but I just thought of stuff that you turn back and you look back and you go, ooh, well, that sucked.
Yeah, fuck me. So Jerry has commented, you killed bamboo. I also killed the Jim Norton interview. It was the worst fucking interview I've ever done in my life. And I was fetal by the time it was done. I was curled up on the floor in a ball.
Well, all I know is that when you do an interview on the podcast, that I set it all up, I make sure that you connect with that person and that it's going. Then I used to go, when we lived at our old place, I used to go down to, my office, which was the garage, go down there, have a cigarette, bullshit with people, do whatever I wanted to do. And then I'd come back up when I, believed it was over, roughly about 30 minutes. It was
about wrapped up.
Yeah. So when I came upstairs, you were literally laying on our living room floor in the fetal position. And I go, oh, this is ungood.
So here's how I personally fucked it up. And then we'll talk about how Jim Norton fucked it up.
Right.
Because this is a two-way street, y'all. And I love Jim Norton. And that's where I'm going with this. I love his comedy so very much. I love him as a host. I think he's hysterical. I love him as a writer. I mean, the man is sharp. He's talented. And I was a little starstruck in talking to him. I admit it, I was. So I didn't handle the interview as well as I could have. In my defense.
You got to say the backstory, though.
I'm giving the backstory now. Jim Norton was on one of his depressive jags. And he's talked about this before. He suffers from depression. Well, this was a really, 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 really low one. And after he did my show, he went on Joey Coco Diaz's show and spent an hour telling him how suicidal he was.
That day.
That particular day. We're talking 30 minutes after he got off the interview with me, he was talking about killing himself.
Well, if I taught you for 30 minutes,
you're going to see this thought through?
No, I'm not.
You might not make it.
No, the reason why he said that he was having some big issues was because he was fighting with his girlfriend.
It was complicated. And I mean, it wasn't just the girlfriend thing. I know there was a whole lot more going on. He was about to start his tour for Mouthful of Shame. So he had a lot going on. And he hates
It piled up on him.
He hates doing interviews anyway, and talking to some shitty little idiot like me, asking him, hey, tell me about the tour.
Tell me about your tour.
I want to wrap a rope around my neck too. I would. That being said, I crumbled in that interview, crumbled hard. And even when we got to a moment where it was getting to be fun, like he was asking me about rock stars that I've sucked off, even then I couldn't see it through. I was a nightmare.
Yeah, but you know what though? The beauty of creative editing with podcasting, we actually made it sound like it was seamless.
This is why you are my producer.
Exactly. You pay me in ass for good reason. What happened?
I don't even know where to go with that. So changing topics, we have some people who've joined us in the chat. I saw that Nancy Jones is here. Thanks for joining us, Nancy. It's great to see you. Donna Cantor is here as well. I know a couple other names have blown past my head while I was rambling. So y'all, thank you for joining us. And I believe we have a hashtag Bourbon Soak Live photo to share.
Yeah, we got a couple of them actually.
Oh, bring them on, producer man.
There, we got Gemma.
Oh, Gemma, love it.
Here, I'm going to blow it up here so you can see it there. There. Oh, she's watching the show.
Love it. Good deal.
And we have...
look at that.
David Clevenger.
Eagle Rare Old Fashioned. And look at that coaster. Look at the coaster. It's for the sewage and power, whatever it is, company. We have coasters
We have
just like
the same
that.
ones.
We do.
That is weird.
I love it. But nice choice on the Eagle Rare. I love Eagle Rare. That's one of those value bourbons that you can get. I mean, it's been aged, I think, 10 years, and it's only like, I don't know, $40 a bottle for the most part. And speaking of this little book, chapter 4, we got ours at a steal. It was $75. And right now I'm seeing it retailing for like $125 and up.
Yeah, we've seen it for $199 at other places too. So Jerry, which by the way, if you want me to block him, feel free to let me know. He says, some shitty little idiot like me. Hey, you're not little.
Oh, Jerry. What are we gonna do with him? He's just a little rascal. So, y'all, I want to hear about your projects that have gone wrong. I mean, I just admitted to you that I completely screwed up one of the bigger interviews of my podcast career. I know y'all have something that you walked away from going, well, fuck, that sucked. I want to know what it is. Jerry, I'm looking at you.
We know that happened.
Oh, I see our friend Guardian of Chaos has joined us. He says the Fee Waybill interview was a must listen. Watched it today and then listened to it on the podcast. Look like y'all are having fun. It resonates. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate that. And it's great to have you with us tonight.
Very cool. And Guardian, I'll tell you that Fee was just one of the nicest guests that we've had on. He was such a sweetheart. He did all the social media stuff that a lot of other stars don't do. He retweeted it. He put it up on Facebook. He said some really nice things about us personally.
Really good guy.
Fee, in our book, is a rock star. We love that guy.
Absolutely. I see that Gemma commented, and she says that she screwed up a radio interview a few weeks ago. Isn't that the worst when you're just put on the spot? And somebody asks you something and you know what you want to say, you know what you're supposed to say, but for whatever reason, your brain just gets in the way and it's so frustrating. Kind of like this show. Nancy Jones, sometimes my layout goes wrong. Oh, for her train layouts. She does really cool model train layouts. And yeah, that's a bummer when you've been working on this and you're like, fuck, why isn't it working for me?
I got a that sucks story.
Oh, do tell, David, the producer.
I don't know which one to tell because I actually have a couple. I have one where I dated a girl that was a squirter.
Haven't you told this story already?
On this show?
I believe you have.
Did I really?
But go ahead. Everybody loves a good squirter story.
Well, I didn't realize I did, but for those of you that heard it, sorry. But
suck it up, listen again. It's a good story.
Squirters deserve it twice. So. I dated a girl that was a squirter. Did not know it, of course, at the time, because when you date someone, the first time you have sex, you just have sex. And she was the very first squirter. And this goes back in the 80s when I was a kid.
Squirting wasn't a thing then. So this poor chick probably didn't even know what it was herself.
There wasn't even things like squirting porn back then, right?
I'm sure
you had VHS.
Was. You just had to dig a little deeper for it.
Well, there was maybe some donkey and chicken porn from Germany.
Ew.
But I never saw squirting. I didn't even know squirting was the thing.
Okay, go on.
So I swear to God, I thought she peed on me. And
that would be your initial reaction.
That was my initial reaction.
Why is it all wet?
And I didn't obviously want to embarrass her. And I just played it off like nothing happened. But I literally stopped like before anything really happened. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I made some excuse. I can't remember what the excuse was, but I made an excuse, got out of there, went home, and I never called that girl again.
Yeah, that's the thing when sex goes wrong. So we might as well. I was saving this for the end of the show, but now that we're here. When sex goes wrong, it goes so horribly wrong that there's no coming back from it. Like I'm not.
Well, and it's not her fault. And she was enjoying the hell out of it.
Obviously she was.
But as we found out, and even today, that squirting doesn't mean that you came.
No, I've always known that. It's a very different bodily reaction. It doesn't mean you're, it's and not all women can do it, of course. But as Jerry points out, it actually does have some of the same chemical composition as pee. But it also has some of the same, like sex fluid composition and all that. Did I really just say sex fluid?
You did.
I did. Delightful. So yeah, I've had sex go terrifically wrong, but it was usually when we were doing something, and I don't mean we as in you and I, when me and who I was with, when something more kinky went wrong.
Yeah.
Like
give me an example.
Let's see what example I can give. Playing around with like bondage and like spanking toys and stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to use them, like if you don't practice first and then you just go to town on a person, you could seriously harm them. I mean, we're talking leave them scarred, even injure internal organs. That's how brutal these things can be if you're not familiar with them. And
what kind of goddamn toys were you using?
Simple ones, actually. I mean, well, for us, we were using simple ones, but I mean, we're talking about like, the cane, the flexible.
Yeah, cane. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you don't know how to use a cane, you're screwed.
You can rip someone's skin off with those things. And let's just say it wasn't pretty.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. you were standing at your office instead of sitting at a desk.
Yeah. And when that happens, out. You do not recover from that. And this guy was just very much like, I'm so macho. I know what I'm doing. And no, you don't.
Nope. You missed that one by a mile. Yeah. You know what? But you really, what are you going to practice on as a guy? I'm not going to sit there and practice on something. What do you practice on?
A pillow.
A dog? Rent a dog?
You do not practice on a fucking dog, you weirdo.
What do you do?
You
on
use
a pillow?
A pillow. Watch a YouTube video. We're on YouTube. They have videos for this.
Okay. Now you're saying that, but they didn't have YouTube back when all of this stuff was, when you were experimenting back then.
For me, they had porn that was readily available.
Okay.
Readily available because I'd purchased it. I knew about it.
Right.
It was not as taboo. You could buy the supplies at stores. I mean, it wasn't like the 80s where you had to.
Jerry says pillows don't scream. Exactly. You don't know how hard you're hitting it.
No, but you can see what you do to it. You can learn how to control it versus, just swinging and, having
you don't use it like like you're trying to hit one out of the park.
Of course you don't, but that's just it. If you've never held one, you don't know that. If you've never watched a video, you don't know that.
Ganna says #dog paddling.
Container Man suggests watermelons. If you break the skin, you've gone too far.
Huh. Well, that's an
And that's
interesting thing.
Surprisingly reasonable.
Yeah. And what a waste of watermelon.
No, it's just the skin. I mean, you could crack that fucker open and eat it still.
I'd do the same thing if I hit a girl too hard.
I was going to say, are we still talking about watermelons?
Right. And Sister Donna Cantor says, and that's when it gets juicy.
Oh, boo. But on a more tame scale, even just a bad fuck, you walk away from going, I'm never going to do that again.
Oh, I never walked away from a fuck and saying I'd never do it again. I'd walk from a fuck and saying I'd never do her again.
Okay, correction. I won't do that again with that person.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, because bad sex, I don't think you can recover from that.
Let me ask you this, and I'm asking all of y'all this. If you're going into, and this could be your past experience or your current, I don't know. If you're going into a new situation with somebody, are there telltale signs that it is going to be awesome or that it could potentially suck?
I don't think any time that I've slept with a girl and it sucked, I don't think I ever got like you
didn't have any clues that it was going to suck.
Yeah, no, nothing like until you get to the foreplay and they're bad at it.
Well, yes, you can always tell by the way that they kiss or something like that. But I would argue that I have known on
or they jerk you off like they're starting a lawnmower. Yeah,
Ow.
No. I mean, some people are just bad at it.
That's just it. But I have known on multiple occasions going into it, if I kind of had a hunch this guy was going to suck at sex or if he was going to be good at it. I mean, even the same thing goes for women. You can always tell, like, especially with women. Women have tendencies, like, at least, between girls, you can kind of tell by the way that they touch you. Like I met most of the girls I dated at strip clubs. So, they were all strippers. So you can tell by the way that they do their lap dances.
Yeah, but they have a lot of practice with a lot of people.
Yeah, but if you give a shitty lap dance, even when it's one that you want to be giving, chances are you're not going to be good at sex.
Well, there's a couple of things you got to read in the chat here. So,
all right, bring it along. So Guardian of Chaos says kissing is a clue. 100%.
Totally.
Somebody's a lousy kisser, they're not going to be a good fucker.
Right. Yeah, the people that like are overly exertive, and I've had girls like that where they're like trying to like maul your face. When you screw them, they're just like, it's just weird gyrations and stuff that is just unnatural.
I personally blame porn for that. I believe both men and women watch and learn from too much porn.
I think that it puts additional pressure on you. And here, I'll tell you why. Because I think you have to be an acrobat star now. I mean, people just don't do just missionary anymore because you look like some boring fuck.
No, I know. And I would I would rather see porn, really good missionary where they're like into it and hot and like into each other as much as you can be as two porn actors. Versus just shitty acrobatic Cirque du Soleil, flip you on your head, fucking.
Yeah. I do love the ones where the girl's got her head. I don't even know if I could explain this.
Here, do it right here. Show like everybody.
It's like a jackhammer. Her head's on the floor and then she's up and he's like, pouncing up and down on her.
Only I can see the movements that David, the producer, is doing right now. And y'all have no idea. This is fabulous.
It's not for air.
All right, so what have we got going on here?
A lot in the chat. Go ahead and get to it.
So let's see. Container Man says, how about got done fucking, stayed too long, and her kid, 4 or 5, comes out and calls you daddy.
Ew.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's time to leave.
That's unfortunate.
You put the money in the dresser and you run.
Have any of y'all ever seen the movie Shakes the Clown? The opening of that movie is fan-fucking-tastic. So Bobcat Goldthwait is a clown in this. And the opening of it is him and Florence Henderson, the lady who played Mrs.
Brady
Brady.
Bunch. Yeah.
He's waking up after a hard night in her room. He's just fucked. His clown makeup is
all
smeared. And he goes and he doesn't he wind up peeing on her son? I think he winds up peeing on her son.
Well, it was accidental.
It was accidental, but he does. And then she comes in and she's all disheveled. Clown makeup's all smeared on her face. And she's like, hey, lover. It's so horrible, but yes. Let's see what else we've got going on. Patrick Fulmer says, no, not the lawnmower.
Yeah, no one wants that. Jerry says, remember that strippers hate all men. I disagree with that.
True, Jerry.
I disagree. I dated a stripper and she was a fine lady until she wasn't.
I understand the inclination to say that all strippers hate men. They just hate working the way that they have to get tips out of men. If perhaps they were more generous with their tips and their compliments and their smiles, it would go better for them. And I say this as somebody who stripped.
Yeah, but it's a fine line.
And Jerry also says, as long as I spew at the end, it was worth it. Creator Spotlight says, I have to fucking warm up before sex. Yes, you absolutely need a warm up. Crucial.
What do you mean? Like a jog around the block, or what are you talking about? You need a warm up.
I like to hit an exercise bicycle first.
I mean, what kind of warm up do you need? I don't need a warm up per se.
No, you don't.
Right.
That's where foreplay comes in.
I can crack diamonds with mine.
I know. You have the wonder cock. I get it. My point being, and I've told you this, is that sometimes you need to be in the headspace for sex.
Very true. You do.
You have to want it.
Every waking moment of my life.
I know. Donna Cantor says, how about you had a partner and he wanted you to have sex with his coming out, what does that say?
Coming out of his... coming out to be his sex partner, needless to say, he was gay. Coming out. I see what you're saying. Okay. So, yeah, I walked away.
Awkward.
Hey,
awkward.
Better off you walked away than ran into that. And then, who knows?
Well, yeah,
where
then you
that
get sucked
story
into something
ends.
that really doesn't end well.
Then you're, spit roasted by two gay men. That could be a little uncomfortable. I said that out loud. Yeah, I did.
There are some thoughts in your head, my love, that really just should stay in there.
It's what I do.
Right. Yes. Creator Spotlight says stretching or I will get cramps.
That's a good point. Stretching, because I've had cramps during sex.
I know, and you just fuck right through them.
Oh,
and I always know.
I know.
I see it on your face. It's not like I'm having the time of my life. It's I'm getting through this so I can get there.
Baby, I wouldn't fuck my way through a heart attack. I would be like, I can make this. Yeah, I got this one.
This is such a guy thing. Like women, we can enjoy sex for the action of it. And enjoy the experience and being with our partner, whoever that is. And we're good. Like, personally speaking, I come like a maniac, so I'm okay. But I can get where other women would just want to have the experience and they don't have to finish it off.
Right? Yeah, no, I get it. And it's even sexier when you let the woman finish it off herself in front of you. And by the way, I'm looking at all the rest of your topics, and something tells me that we're not going to easily transition into decorating disasters.
Unless you're building a sex dungeon.
Right.
Oh my God, here's the coolest sex failure I've ever seen. So once again, I was watching kink.com. And
you never called out the website, by the way.
I did last time I talked about it. I was talking about the porn wrestling.
Yeah, not this
on
episode.
Kink.com. This was also Kink.com. So
there you go.
They had this chick in a sex sling. And the guy decided it was going to be really fun to like pull her all the way back and let her swing. Well, whoever hung the sex swing didn't realize that the wall was really close and that he, didn't count on somebody seriously swinging her. And what's hysterical is that you can visibly see the guy's physical reaction when he realizes he's done something horribly wrong, because he pulls her back, sends her sailing, and then you watch his whole body physically cringe as she's about to smack into the fucking wall.
But you know what? You got to be a better Bob Vila if you're going to put up sex toys like that. The swing is advanced. I mean,
this is kink.com. I mean,
know.
You would think with a name like kink.com, and this was years ago. I have no idea if this video is still on their website, but oh my God, when I saw it, I was cracking up.
West Haven, always and forever, here in the house.
Oh, hey, cheers to you. Thanks for joining us in the middle of our train wreck once again.
Yes, and Drone Kings and Darwin's here.
Ooh.
Did you see warm-ups at Creator Spotlight? If you need to stretch and warm up to Richard Simmons, I'm out.
Oh, leave Richard Simmons alone. He's a nice man.
He's sequestered these days.
Well, aren't we all right now?
Well,
not
that's,
us.
well, no, that's true.
We run around outside without a fucking care in the world.
Oh, Donna says, try having sex when your hip goes out.
Ah!
Or you're moaning because you're hurting. Oh, that's not good sex.
I've had my back go out in the middle of sex, and that's just awful. Because it's like the worst trying to explain to your partner, like, you're killing me right now.
I can't fuck you. My back hurts.
How fucking old are we?
Yeah. That's not a good sign. Hey, you know what I'm going to do, though? I'm going to come over here by you.
Are you going to pour yourself some of this? So what do y'all say? We'll reiterate what it is we're drinking for all you people who've just joined us.
Yes.
It is Little Book Chapter 4. The official subtitle is Lessons Honored. And that would be David, the producer's hand. What are you doing now?
Nothing. Just getting the bourbon.
There you go. Are you happy now?
No.
So this is Little Book Chapter 4 from Freddie No. And it's incredible. I mean, it's seriously high proof. It's 122 proof, but the flavor is a little bit like cream soda. And it's got this wonderful sort of aftertaste. It's a little oaky, but it's not astringent. It's really, really nice. A great sipper. If you find it, you got to pick it up. It's just, as far as all these Little Book releases go, I'm really loving it.
Hey, and by the way, we have another entry from hashtag Bourbon Soak Live.
We do. Hashtag Bourbon Soak Live.
Yeah.
Show it.
This is Stacy Morgan. He's painting his wall of YouTube
Aww.
fame, and he threw us up there. How
Look
cool
at that.
is that?
That is awesome. Thank you so much.
Stacy, you're awesome. Thank you for doing that. And Stacy also had made us the YouTube belts.
That's right. So, absolutely.
Very cool stuff.
And I see that Malted in Montreal has joined us, and
Swami.
he is wishing you a happy birthday and a happy anniversary to us. David, the producer, and I are celebrating, or we celebrated our 11-year wedding anniversary.
11 years. Cheers to you.
Yeah, cheers to you, handsome producer man.
Hopefully that you never swing into a wall.
Did I really just drink to that?
You did.
Thank you for that. That was delightful. So we've clearly run out on the sex topics. What do you say we try a new one? And if it goes south, well, it goes south. Fuck it. And you being a musician, I think you can relate to this. And all of y'all out there being creators, I'm sure you've had the same experience where, you've got a project or something you're passionate about. You put it out there and you go, well, that sucked. And for me personally, I'm thinking of a piano recital that I gave when I was a kid. I am a shitty musician. The worst possible musician y'all can imagine, because I'm terrible with coordination. My hands and my brain just don't get along. And I'm just a bad piano player, but my parents thought I would be genius at it. So they threw me in piano lessons, put me in a recital, and this little shithead kid behind me looked like Gary Coleman. This little, like, kind of just twitchy kid. And he's looking at me and he's like, hey, you're going to fuck up. And we're talking 8 years old here. He goes, you're going to fuck up.
How old were you?
8.
Oh, you're the same age.
Yeah,
Okay.
the two of us.
Got it.
And he looks at me, he says, you're going to fuck up. I'm like, what? I barely even knew what that word meant, but I'm 8 years old and he tells me that. And of course it throws me off any game that I might have had. So I play shitty in the middle of the song. I lose everything. I forget the entire song. I'm playing For Elise from Sound of Music. Forget
Jesus.
it. I forget the whole goddamn thing. And I walk off stage in disgrace. This little kid walks out on stage, plays the theme from Star Wars and nails it.
He was just trying to throw you off your game. Was it
An 8-year-old.
Was it a competition or was it just like a
It was
recital?
just a piano recital. There were no awards handed out.
Oh, then he was
He
just
was
a
just a
douche.
shithead.
Hey, we have Moist Goat Lip joining us, which,
Oh,
by the way,
one of my favorite names ever.
I love that YouTube name more than anything.
Thank you for being here. We're talking about, well, that sucked. And my piano recital sucked. What about you, David, the producer? Have you ever gone out on stage and just hated every second of it because it sucked?
Oh, absolutely. I've, being a bass player played for, decades, that you're always going to have a show that you're not always all that thrilled with. But there was one in particular where I thought, oh my God, I literally forgot half the songs. And I was ghost noting them. And
You're
for
so
anyone
good at that, though. Like, you remember everything. You
I do.
cram and you nail it.
Well, it's part of what I did for a while in Chicago is that a band would hire me. They say, learn these 40 songs in 4 days and do this show with us.
Mhm.
And I do that. So I have like this weird memory that I can memorize songs like
you're
that.
incredible that way.
But there was one night a band had hired me for that very purpose, and I just could not remember the songs for some reason. And I just started playing what they call ghost notes, which means instead of playing a bad note, you play no note at all. And you hear the bass drop in and out of the whole freaking song.
Oh my God, you didn't.
I didn't get a call back from that band. I'll tell you that.
Oh, that's the worst.
And that just sucked. And even all the guys didn't even want to talk to me after the show. So I knew, I'm like,
oh yeah, you were
Jesus.
officially on their shit list.
Oh yeah. I was like, I was never coming back to that band or to that club.
Something we haven't talked about yet is actually taking drugs and drinking and our experiences with that. And I will tell you that this is why I no longer take mushrooms, is because the one time I did, oh my God, I walked away from that just hating every single waking second of that experience.
I've never been, as you know, a drug guy.
Right.
I'm not a drug guy. Never have been. I've, just cocktails. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've all had experiences either with alcohol or smoking pot or whatever you guys do out there that, there's a one time that you overdo it just a little bit where you go, ooh, but that's what teaches you your limits, right?
But sometimes you go into it thinking this is going to be fucking awesome. Like, I've gone into, I won't say raves, but parties with friends where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this and we're going to party and it's going to rock. And then you have a bad experience on it. For me personally, I get awful heart palpitations if I overdo it. So you are just completely swayed from ever wanting to do it again.
Right. Well, you were talking about performances, and I'm going to bring it full circle because I had the worst sexual performance of my life, and it was my very first time.
Everybody's first time sucked.
Oh, no. Oh, no. There were reasons why this was really bad on a whole bunch of different levels.
Okay, so so this is the first time you've had sex.
First time.
The girl, what does she look like? How old are you?
I was 13.
And she was
13 as well.
13 as well. Okay.
Yeah, she had done it before. At least that was word
An
around the school.
experienced lady.
That was the word around the school.
Or underage
and
girl, whatever.
I could actually believe it because, how she handled herself.
Right.
I think she really did know what the hell she was doing.
Sure.
Or at least had done it before. It was the most embarrassing moment of my entire life.
What made it embarrassing? Was it being at least partially naked in front of a completely new human being? Was it
Nope.
Not knowing what you were doing?
Nope. It was my unit, or what I can call
Your
it
cock.
Yeah, whatever.
Yes,
yeah,
your
whatever.
cock.
We're on YouTube. It doesn't matter.
Say it, everyone.
Yeah,
cock.
my cock just touching to go in.
Oh no.
And
Oh, no.
I exploded.
Oh no.
And I faked like nothing happened.
Oh my
which
God.
made it worse.
So then you were actually going at it like, half mast?
No, I couldn't even get it in after that.
Oh no. Well, that doesn't even really count.
Oh no, that counts for, that sucked. and not by me, but by her.
Yeah. My first sex experience sucked too, but it sucked on several different levels. For starters, it was with a rock star, and it was with a very, very well-known rock star. And I was very, very underage.
And you were very, very young.
And I went into it being so thrilled to be with this guy. Like, he picked me out of all these girls, and I'm the one.
You were just the closest.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all, because there was some like finagling. It wasn't in like a tour bus. It wasn't backstage. I actually went back to his hotel room with him.
You told me this story.
Yeah. So it was horrible on so many levels. For starters, he just sucked at sex. I mean, I think he just kind of gave up on giving a shit about anybody, and he just wanted what he wanted.
Yeah.
But the worst of it, and I've talked about this several times, probably on the podcast, maybe here too, he'd been eating Cheetos prior to it. So I was left with cheesy streaks across my face.
Hey, sex and a snack.
Oh, it would have been awesome if we could have incorporated the Cheetos somehow. But no, it was just shitty sex with cheesy stains.
Did your pussy look like a tangerine after you were done? I'm just curious. I'm just curious.
I almost wish it would have. Oh my God, I hate you.
I know you do. Did you see Donna Canner? She
No.
says, my very first date, the guy took me out to to a pizza place and brought the pizza home. I knew this guy wasn't real.
Wow, somebody was just ready.
Yep. Drunk Kings in Darwin.
This just went not safe for work. Just went.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, and it's been not safe for work since the dawn of time, I think.
Yeah, David went in half cocked. Yeah, no doubt. I totally did.
David the Projaculator. That's cute. Thanks, Jerry. I like that one.
I'm getting t-shirts made.
Drone Kings in Darwin says, never look at tangerines the same way again.
I like Jerry's one before that. David the Pre-Medusa.
Oh, God. Hey, Lady Swan, aren't you glad you joined us tonight?
Nice timing. You would think that there wouldn't be a hurricane right now, but...
I'm waiting. Where's the fucking hurricane? They've been building us up for the past 3 days.
It's supposed to start in 10 minutes, actually.
All we've heard is, brace yourself, New Orleans. There's hurricanes on the way. One hits on Monday, the next hits on Wednesday. Y'all are going to batten down the hatches. And
hey, you know what? Come Wednesday, you be careful what you say.
I know. Be careful what you say. And believe me, I'm not wishing ill on anybody, anything, or New Orleans. But God damn it, it's like the snowstorms in Chicago. You'd get 2 days worth of, you're going to get snowmageddon and die, and nothing happened.
And Drone Kings and Darwin says, never look at tangerines the same way again.
Exactly. And yes, Lady Swan, Laura, we know the hurricane is definitely the one that we got to watch out for coming on Wednesday. 100-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to be challenging.
It'll be interesting.
It will.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Well, y'all, on that cheesy note, I think it's time we say goodnight. So let me remind y'all that I do have a podcast. It is far more cohesive and coherent than this little show is. It's called The Unwritable Rant. I tell bourbon-soaked stories. So if you want to hear more stories about the rock stars I fucked, if you want to hear more about the crazy misadventures me and David, the producer, get into, check it out. You can find it where all good podcasts live. Also, David, the producer, has a YouTube channel, and occasionally I steal content from him and put it on the podcast, like the Fee Waybill interview and the John Anderson interview.
We got somebody coming up in a couple weeks.
Can we break the news?
No, we can't just yet because I'm just waiting on one more thing.
Finally found love.
Hey, would you stop giving clues? We're gonna have somebody on really cool, really
that was a
fun.
Deep dive.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It will be fun. I'm really looking forward to this one because it's a friend that both David and I share, so it'll be a very cool conversation.
Yes.
And that is the David the Producer YouTube channel. If you don't know it already, find it and subscribe to it. It's like a speakeasy in there.
Kind of, sort of. Speakeasy in the fact that no one knows where the fuck it is.
Good. So thank y'all so much for joining us. Jerry, of course, it's always a treat to talk with you. It really is. It warms my heart.
Warms your cockles?
It warms my cockles. In addition, Bob's Adventures on Wheels gets our gold star for being here first. Thank you. Gemma, thanks for joining us. Ganna, always good to see you. Drone Kings and Darwin, Patrick Fulmer.
Creator Spotlight.
Creator Spotlight, Guardians of Chaos.
Lady Swan.
Kurt Robbins.
Drone Kings.
Drone Kings and Darwin. Donna Cantor. Moist Goat Lip. You have the coolest name ever.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You gotta love a name
Malton
like
in
that.
Montreal, good to see you.
Swami,
too.
always great to see you. And we had Stacey Morgan pop in earlier as well.
Mhm.
So all great. Thank you for coming in. West Haven here as well. Very cool.
So y'all, if I missed you, I apologize. Just know I see your comments. I'm so happy you're here and watching. I really appreciate it. And assuming we don't drown, we'll be back next Monday night at 7 p.m. Central to hang out some more. So until then, cheers, y'all.
You're still here? It's over.